To find this place. It's been like 15 years. Now, me and my buddy Chris, who's now dead, he got killed, he got stabbed, and he got killed. The girl that did it only got 5 years, believe it or not. Said that she was just trying to scare him and only got 5 years for killing my friend. But anyway, we were basically couch surfing drug dealers. We had a lot of money, but we're practically kids. We're like 17, 18 years old. And I'm trying to find this place. We lived in this place that was 400 square feet, and there were 5 of us living in there. 4 adults and 1 kid that the 2 drug people were getting into. Now, this guy was a crackhead, but he had a good connection. He was getting 10 of these bags that had like 0.2 of a gram of heroin each in them, and he was cutting them in half and selling them for 25. I told him, you give me those 10, but don't cut them in half. Give them to me as you get them. I'll give you $350 for it. I guarantee you, I will make a promise. Even if I don't sell it, I will buy 10 a day. That's $100 a day profit you are guaranteed to make. Whoops, might have gone to the wrong spot. Oh, no. Shoot. Try to find this place. It'd be great if I could. I really want to show this place, but I think this is a wrong turn. But anyway, so he made $100 profit a day off me, plus he had his other people he was selling to, so he ended up making a whole lot extra money. Imagine, somebody comes in your life, they give you $3,000 a month extra. You just got to hand him something once a day. And that was making him sell more for his dealer, so that made him very, very popular. Oh, I think this might be it. I've been looking for this. I've driven this place like 3 times. This little place was not suitable for 5 people to live in, much less 2 people to live in. This is it. See this little house on the left?
Yeah.
Casey, that's where it was. Do you see this little house?
Yeah.
That was where I lived.
It's crazy.
It's 400 square feet. It's meant to be a guest house. Did you see that?
Yeah.
That's it. I've been looking. I've taken her up here like 4 times, and I thought it was further back. But that's the place. That's the place. All of us were living in there. We were so screwed on living conditions. And Chris, his mom was a prostitute, dad was a drug addict. Sad story. And you know, we were running around, but we were like brothers. We'd met in a rehab when I was a kid. Now, I made this guy so much money back there that he was able to move out of there and get a house in a nicer area. A way nicer area. And basically what had happened was, I tell a story about it, but you know, the heroin whole thing that happened in the city happened at the Ramada Inn. That's where it took off at. Are you? Yep. At the Ramada Inn is where it took off. And there were the 2 guys that were a couple grades ahead that got the 10 kids on it and all that. Well, there was one guy that was supplying all them, and there was a girl that was supplying them. The guy was on the 2nd floor, his dealer was on the 3rd floor. The guy got caught with a 50-bag brick of heroin, and he snitched on his dealer. They caught her with 22 50-bag bricks of heroin. That night, I told Chris, I said, dude, the police are watching this place. They had an unmarked Dodge Charger, and I saw a guy in it taking notes, writing license plates. And I said, we got to get you out of here, buddy. So I get him out of there. I'm like, where can we go? Do you know anybody else? He said, yeah, my cousin. And that's where he took me to. It wasn't his literal cousin, but you know how people are, saying everybody's their brother and sister and mother and whatever else. That's what he said. So we go there, and that's how I met them. And I saw how much he was getting, and I was like, their connection just got busted. They're going to have to go to the ghetto and pay double for all this stuff. So that's when I started doing it. And what I did was I took these giant bags that were like 0.2 or better. I split the bag in half. I paid $35 for it. I made it into 2. I sold each of those for $50. So what they ended up doing was they ended up making me a $65 profit off of each one. And it all ended up bad. Ended up losing my 20s to federal prison. 44 of my friends have died under the age of 35. That's how it worked out. So none of this stuff worked out good for me. But that was the place it really kicked off, you know. And that's actually the last place that I saw my buddy Chris alive. Chris had enlisted in the Army. He was just 18 years old, if I remember right. And he had a girlfriend that was crazy. I knew she was crazy because, you know, they'd argue all night and all day on the phone, literally probably 15 hours a day. Okay, we're on meth, selling heroin, okay? We did meth, so it made us the 7-Eleven of drug dealers. We could stay up all day and all night. You could call us at 4 a.m., we'd meet you in 10 minutes. None of this stuff about meet me here in 3 hours, run around a building 3 times and look under a rock for directions on how you're gonna meet me next for some complicated deal. We made drug dealing simple, and you know, that's what we did, and it was uncomplicated and all that stuff. Ended up in prison, didn't end up good, but just from a business sense, that was the perspective on it. Now, that girl, we were on meth, she wasn't. She was up 20 hours a day just to argue with this guy. So I know she was crazy, and I told him she was crazy. I told him multiple times she was crazy. Well, he broke up with her. He enlisted in the Army. He was set to go to the Army. And it really sucks. It fucks me up thinking about this. And sorry, I don't cuss, but it does. You know I don't cuss on here, and it really does mess me up though. Oh shit, red light, God. Big old truck in front of me, couldn't see the light. I'm going to pull in here now. But anyway, we'll go to Kroger here. But I'm gonna keep talking for a second, so don't turn it off. But anyway, what I'm getting at was he broke up with her, and she couldn't take the breakup. She couldn't take it. It bothered her. It drove her crazy that he broke up with her. So he was in Southeast, the white ghetto. And eventually what had happened was she tracked him down to the house that he was at, and when he walked out of it, she had a big old kitchen knife, and she stabbed him in the stomach. She said she was just trying to scare him, and where she was like, Chris had just turned, I believe he just turned 18. She was like 16 at the time. You know, I think I was 17 at this time. I'm trying to remember. But anyway, she said she was just trying to scare him. So what they did was they gave her what's called juvenile life. And juvenile life is you get put in jail till you're 21, okay? You just have to go to jail till you're 21. And that's what they gave her. And that's what I want to bring up right now. I want to bring up a point. I got 8 years in federal prison for a drug deal that I did not witness or profit off of. A guy who I knew, but I didn't invite him over, and that's on the record. Me and the guy hadn't seen each other in a couple years, and I get a knock on my door, and I open the door, and I said his name, and he said my name. I said, "What are you doing here?" He said, "What are you doing here?" Because of that, because that guy showed up at my apartment, unknown to my apartment. Since that guy showed up to my apartment unknown, I'm letting him go. I don't know what he's doing. But anyway, I'll just sit here. Oh, he's waiting on his woman. Okay, gotcha. But anyway, sorry, trying to navigate through a parking lot. But anyway, I'll go on through here. Sorry for doing this commotion, but I wanted you guys to see this place. That's crazy. I've been looking for that place. I've taken her to it multiple times, hadn't I? Mm-hmm. We couldn't find it. It was down that one street. Got lucky and found it on accident. But anyway, I got 8 years in federal prison for a drug deal I didn't profit off of, arrange, or have anything to do with. That girl got, I guess 5 years. She's 16. Yeah, 5 years in prison for killing my best friend. So tell me about the system. Tell me how this works. Now, from the deal that took place in my apartment, somebody did die. Somebody who came to the apartment to buy drugs from the dealer that was in my apartment. He went there on purpose to buy drugs from the dealer in my apartment. It was a set up consensual deal, you know, and I ended up losing 8 years, and I'm very sorry he died. He was a friend of mine in school. I hate that he died, but I got 8 years for that. And this girl killed someone. She stabbed him in the stomach, and she got 5 years. So tell me, what is this? Does this make sense? This doesn't make sense. This is stupid. Okay, there are 100,000 people a year that die of drugs. The people willingly buy drugs, okay? There's 100,000 that die of an overdose a year. You can bet that there's another 200,000 that overdose and are revived. It does not matter if you live or die in the federal system. If I sell you a $10 bag of dope and you call an ambulance right now, and that ambulance responds, that is considered by federal law an overdose. Even though, say you were a first-time user and you tried it. You didn't really overdose, but you freaked out. And because an ambulance had to respond, that is considered an overdose by law. In the federal system, that is a mandatory minimum sentence of 20 years in federal prison, in which you will have to do 17 on. They had charged me for the deal that I didn't do, and they had charged me also for another guy who lived, whose life I saved in my apartment. I saved his life. They wanted to drag him out in the hall. They were charging me for him. I have nothing to do with that one either. He could have let everything play out how it did, but since I saved his life, and since I told him when they revived him before they took me off in handcuffs, because I had the warrants out, I'd been in hiding. I said, you owe me when I get out, man. I said, I saved your life. He's like, whatever. That medic guy said, you idiot. He didn't save your life, but he kept you alive till we got here. Wake up. And I said, yeah, your friend wanted to drag you out in the street and leave you there. He looked at the person who was selling the drugs. All they could do was hang their head. Well, he knew they were going to drag him out in the street and leave him there to die. He knew that I saved his life. So Brian Goebel, I saved his life. He saved mine back. Unfortunately, he had a brain tumor. He went off to California. I don't know where he's at right now. His Facebook, if you go down the things, it's a guy named Brian Goebel. You know, I've only met the guy twice. That one day, and we didn't hang out. He hung out in the back room with the dealer with the door shut the whole day until he overdosed. We talked like just a couple times. And then in jail when I saw him again, he thanked me. And he told me what he did, that he'd spoke up to save me on this. So, you know, it's sad what's going on with him. Nobody knows where he's at, if he's alive or dead. Good chance he's dead. He had a couple operations on a brain tumor. So, but Brian saved my life back. So anyway, that's it.